Hello, my name is Kashawn Hopkins. I'm an instructional technology specialist from an OPSRC, and I'm here to talk about Adobe Spark Page. I'm also joined here with my colleague. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Kurt Bernhardt, Director of Technology for OPSRC.
Awesome. And together we make the technology team for OPSRC. If you want to ever reach out to us, you can at techteam@opsrc.net. We would love to hear from you if you want to talk about anything from the tech talks to websites to all sorts of technology that we support. If you want to talk to us, we are open to it, absolutely. Additionally, if you want access to these slides that I'm using right now, I highly recommend that you do because it's filled with all sorts of resources that you can reach if Adobe Spark Page is anything that you're interested in. There's tons of stuff in there for that. So you can access it through this link right here. I'll say it since it's case sensitive. So that's lowercase t, period, ly, slash, lowercase x, uppercase ot, and lowercase t, all case sensitive, but it's all there. Now I want to show a little bit of an example of what you can accomplish with Adobe Spark Page. It does not take all that very long to get going, getting started, and get just like a nice professional looking product there for you and your students. So I'm going to access this example here. But this is something that I kind of slapped together just to try to tell a story over here. Let's see if you can kind of relate to this over here. We have this nice little website that says, "Hello, loving father and mother. This is why I should have a puppy." Nice little picture back there, full of heartstrings. If I scroll down a little bit, I got some nice text, different sizes of text. I got some bolding things going on here. Here's a little bit of link inside of the text I can click on. I can see cute baby little animals there. So adorable. Here are some reasons why puppies are great, a couple of bullet points, and some buttons that I can click on just in case my parents forget what puppies are and what they look like. I also have some embedded videos, good old TikTok in there. Even some videos I've created myself using Adobe Spark Video, which is part of the Adobe Spark suite, which we'll talk a little bit about later if you're unfamiliar. I have a little photo collage here that I kind of slapped together. These 5 dogs that would be really nice, and I said, here are some dogs that I would like to have, a little caption there. And then when I scroll through, I have this really nice feature here where it kind of like makes it a little more dynamic when I scroll through. I said this one I would name Sparky, this one I would name Loaf, this one I would name Shadow. Great names for dogs. And then finally, just a little bit of a split layout picture over here. I hope after this you're convinced to let me have a dog. Thank you. It's a pretty awesome picture right there. And I can even learn to appreciate it. And one really nice thing about this is at the very bottom of the page, I got my sources for my images cited down over here so I could give the proper credits to the people who deserved, who helped make this presentation as beautiful as it came out to. So if you haven't figured it out already, Adobe Spark Page is a sort of a very basic website creation tool. It's not as advanced enough to where you can like go in there with like coding languages and make really specific changes. But if the purpose is to put together a website and make it look really nice, I think this is perfect for this. And there are tons of uses for that in the classroom that I want to highlight. So that's a bit of an intro for Adobe Spark Page. Just so you have an idea of what we're doing for these tech talks, I like to have a little bit of schedule so people have an idea how this is going to flow. I've done my introduction. Now I want to move into a little bit of theory, just kind of answering a few questions about what are we trying to learn here? Why are we even talking about bringing technology into the classroom? And how do we go about doing it if we do have an idea of what we want to bring in. So I want to address that. But then right after that, I move into some tool questions. I just answer some key questions about the tool itself, and then I do a little bit of showcase, show you how to get in there, get it started, and get it implemented for your classroom with a couple of those features. After you have that foundation set, I move into a couple of tool application suggestions for you. And I use a bit of the theory that I'm going to go into in a minute. I talk about the Xamarin model that has a fond place in my heart. And then I wrap everything up by sharing any goodies to extend your learning and share some links to an evaluation and answering any questions you might have. So we're going to jump into that in a second here. First of all, What are we learning? I got to have my objectives. I'm a teacher at heart. I got to spit them out. So, after this training, teachers will be able to integrate Adobe Spark Page in their classroom to help students achieve learning goals and acquire 21st century skills. So, I want to break this down just a little bit. We have our subject here, of course, the Adobe Spark Page. Let's talk about what we are trying to accomplish here. Because if you're going to spend the resources to put a piece of technology in your classroom, you want to get the most you can out of it. And a good way, I think, of thinking about that is try to focus on whatever your learning goals are going to be. You are still trying to accomplish the same thing that you were trying to do before without the technology, but technology is being introduced to enhance what's going on in your classroom, to help assist your students there, and it's all has to tie into learning goals. It can't just be introduced into the classroom as kind of like a novel thing and then become a waste of time. You don't want to take away from what's happening in your classroom. You want to enhance it here. Another way to think about it, because learning goals are typically class and subject specific, kind of like a broad way of thinking about it is, can your technology support 21st century skills? What I mean by that in terms of definition is the National Education Association picked out, they call them the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. All 4 of those skills can be used not only in just your classroom, but it can help students be successful in the other classrooms and other subjects, even outside of school when they're starting up their career or trying to be successful inside of in college. Your students are going to go far if they know how to properly communicate in a bunch of different ways, collaborate with others, critically think about problems, and be creative, just kind of express themselves in innovative ways. So once you are convinced, okay, I have this piece of technology, another question you might ask is, okay, how do I integrate it in my classroom so I can maximize the input that I'm putting, the resources that I'm burning up to get this to work in my classroom? And so there's lots of different ways that you could answer that question. One of the ways that I'm going to recommend, because I think it's just an easy way to kind of understand and frame it, your technology integration, is the SAMR model. For those who are unfamiliar, the SAMR model is basically a way to think about how you're integrating technology in terms of these different levels here. And so you got the substitution level, the augmentation level, the modification level, and the redefinition level. And how you integrate technology can fit multiple parts of these tiers, but it's just different ways that you can think about it here. Like, for example, you could use technology as a direct substitute for something you're already doing, or you could take advantage of a function of that piece of technology and augment something that you're already doing, or you could completely modify a task that you're trying to do in your class, or you could completely redefine a task by creating something that wasn't available before you introduced that technology in there. And so I try to recommend people try to work in this transformation period over here, down here, the modification redefinition step. But there's nothing wrong with doing a little substitution augmentation there. And so I'll try to recommend different activities with these different tiers here a little bit later, once we have a firmer grasp on what's possible with Adobe Spark Page here. But we'll come back to this. But next, let's answer some questions specifically about what you came here for, which is Adobe Spark Page. First question is, what is it? Simple definition would be a media creation software that helps build professional looking web pages. Real nice there, because of the fact it's part of a suite. I've already did some tech talks about them before. Collectively, they're called Adobe Spark. It's different media creation tools here. So we have Page for web pages, we have Video for videos, and we have Post for graphics here. And I like Page because it sort of puts everything together, combines it into a neat little package. So anything that you've created in the Adobe Spark suite, you could use inside of Page. It's really nice for that. So the question, what can it do for my classroom? I'm all about trying to figure out what's the bottom line here. What can this do for me? In this case, it can help you present information. It's a different way to put that information out there. Students can do a bit of research and put together something with a bunch of different pieces of media. They can embed images and videos to kind of get that information out. It combines together with other Adobe Spark tools, and it is Chromebook friendly, which is so nice. It's browser based, so you can do it all from there. So if you've got a bunch of Chromebooks in there, iPads, any of that, it is friendly, and you can play around in those. And finally, where can you access it? You can do it for free through spark.adobe.com. That's actually where I'm going to take us, and we're going to start our showcase here. So let me just take about the next 10 to 12 minutes ish, 10 to 15 minutes ish, to kind of show you around the place. If you've already seen my other tech talks about Spark, there's a lot of it's similar, but I'm going to get to the part with the page, no problem. So if I want to get started, I can go ahead and click Start Now. That is where you can create an Adobe account if you don't already have it. Although if you already have like a Gmail, Facebook, any of that you want to use to sign in, you can just go up to Sign In right here. I'm going to click on that actually. And one thing that you can do with Adobe Spark is you can create a classroom and invite students in using a class code. And I think that's really useful if you want to monitor what your students are doing with Adobe Spark here. And so a good place to start is right over here on the right-hand side where it asks teacher or student, and you log in with your school account. Unfortunately, a little bit of disclaimer here. I can't show you that part just because I don't have like a designated school account. It won't let you in without like an actual school account in there. So I'm going to have to log in with my Google account. But you do have some other options here. You can log in with Facebook, Apple ID, email, or Adobe ID if you already have that. And so I'm going to sign in with Google, but just something to keep in mind. And I've also included in my resources on how to set up a classroom. It's so easy. They break it down in a couple of steps, and it's useful. So let me log in here in my good old Gmail account here, just to show you around the place. Okay. So here I am at the dashboard here. So it gives me a little bit of information here. I can quickly start up new projects here. There's a couple of buttons for me to click on. There are these wonderful templates for the graphics and the videos for the other tools here. If you ever see that yellow tag on the top right-hand corner of any templates or any features, that just means it's a premium feature. You got to get an premium account, so you do have to pay a little bit for that. But I think the templates it already has are pretty good, and you can change all of them as well, and you can add a lot of photos in there. So if you don't find a good template in there, I bet you can make a good one too. If you scroll down a little bit more, you could see some recent projects. There's some lovely stuff down over there. And at the very bottom of the page, there's some lovely tutorials in there. Adobe does not leave you high and dry on the tutorial parts. They try to give in some resources here. But if you are like me right now, you want to start an Adobe Spark website page. So to do that, top left-hand corner, I'm going to click on this blue plus sign right over here. Click on that. You have a couple of options here. So all of this is Adobe Spark Post video stuff. I'm going to click on web page here. All right. Here we are, a lovely page, great place to start. So right in the very middle, we have add a title, add a subtitle. So let's do something, let's spice this up a little bit. Let's do the title, Kangaroos, and the subtitle, and why I should totally have one. There we go, a little bit of a continuation of my dog adventure. I'm thinking if I can get a dog in the door, maybe I can get what I really want, which is a kangaroo, something like that. I don't know. Here we go. So at the bottom of the page here, I see that I have an option to add a photo in here. So let's add in a little bit of a header photo here. I think this is quite good because this is kind of like my first impression here. So I can choose to either upload a photo of mine, or I could find some free photos. You can also get it from these other resources from here, but chances are you're going to use these first two options the most. So when you search for this, it tries to search for Creative Commons licensed photo. So hopefully I didn't shoot myself in the foot here. Let's look for kangaroos. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is some good stuff here. Let's boom right there. That is beautiful, right in the middle of the air. Nice. And now at the very bottom it says scroll down to start writing your story. Let's go. And you can also see at the top of the page here, if I ever want to stop and preview, because right now I'm kind of like in an editing view right now. If I want to stop and preview my page here, I can have it. Nothing too exciting here, but it looks pretty great. And I can also present my page here if I click on this. And it gives kind of like a full screen mode where I can manually scroll through if I'm using it as kind of like a presentation software there. But let's start adding some stuff in here. Let's start spicing this up a little bit. So I'm going to scroll down, start writing my story, and here are your options here. I'm going to try to scroll in a little bit. Let's get the zoom on here. There we go. All right, so at this little bar here are my options in terms of things that I can start adding in here. I got photo, text, I got like an interactive button that I can attach a link to. I have embedded videos, photo grids, which is a collection of photos, glide show, which is what I was trying to show you where I was scrolling through and it was a little more dynamic and you had a little text box there, and then the split layout where it cuts your screen in half and you can do media things on both sides of your screen. So let me try to run through these real quick. You've already seen kind of this photo feature already. Let me zoom out a little bit. I like to have it standard size there. So the first option there. I've got lovely kangaroos here. Let's get, this one looks like a good one. Let me click on that. Ooh, a nice little black and white picture. That's awesome. I can adjust small things about this picture, but it's going to lock in kind of the formatting of it here. So there isn't a whole lot of power in terms of like moving some of the things around or adjusting it to like a specific size, but it is going to at least try to make everything look pretty nice here. And I think for someone who is completely a beginner in terms of putting together a website, I think that's probably good enough. Right now we have the inline option. I could choose to fill my screen. Ooh, that's spicy. I can even drop a caption here. Joey and Bob, if you let me get to. There we go. For this kid, he's going to shoot for the stars. Or I could make it kind of like a small slice, a little window there, and adjust the focal point so we can get these cute little faces in here. I could replace this entirely. If this picture isn't working out for me, I could replace it. Oh, look, kangaroo babies. That's pretty good. All right. Or I could move it as a piece. I can either move it up and down. Because really, when I'm making this website, I'm just stacking sections on top of each other here. Or if I want, I can completely delete it. But I'm not. I like what I have here. So those are pictures for photos here. Next, we got pieces of text here. We got a small text editor. It's a bit restricted, but that's fine. I can still put, I think, kangaroos are amazing. Here are some reasons I should have them. There we go. So I have a nice line of text here. If you press enter, it will create another section automatically where you can put some more text in there. So this one, I probably want to have some bullet points here. So what I can do is click on that little section and I have different formatting options like the headers. I can adjust the size here. So maybe I want to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And then over here, I can put bullet points maybe. So I'm responsible. I love animals. Animals like me. There we go. That's perfectly good reasons to own a kangaroo there. Nothing wrong with that. You can adjust the alignment as well if you'd like. Or you could introduce links inside of here as well. If I highlight this piece of text and click the link, I can drop a link in there, no problem. See, so that's text. Next is buttons. if I ever want to have a button here, I can say, watch this kangaroo video here, drop a link here, pretend that I copy pasted the link in there of this lovely picture, and I can adjust the alignment. I can't say exactly where it's going to go, but at the very least it's going to be flush left or right or in the center. I can save it, and it just makes it real quick, just kind of like a minimalist button there that they can click on. It would take them wherever they need to go. So real easy buttons there. You don't have to do anything creative for the graphics there. Next is the video here. I can choose to embed a video on here. So let me see if I can. There we go. YouTube. And let's get a little kangaroo. Cute. There we go. Joeys are adorable. Yeah, let's get some of that pull on the heartstrings action here. So I'm going to copy, paste, save. And real easy, I don't have to mess with embed codes or anything. I just have to copy the address link and then dump it in there, and it does all the adjustments for me. And I could see it automatically works for me. And if I ever need to adjust any of this, I can either edit this video to change it for a new one or delete it. Always an option with a simple click. So videos are great. Next we got photo grid, which I could use to pick a couple of photos and throw them in there. So let's see, we got this picture, that looks good. Let's throw one more into there. Oh no, that's them fighting. We don't want any of that. Okay, so those are lovely photos of some kangaroos. I can make some adjustments here if I'd like. Like if I see a photo, then I'm like, probably not that one. Or if I want to move it back and forward, I just click on the photo itself and either replace it, or I could make it a large photo here, make these large ones, full-size ones, or I could adjust it, moving it forward or back, or I could completely delete it if I want. Maybe 4 pictures is what I want. I like the nice little symmetry this gives. But right now I'm just editing the photos itself. If I try to scroll up or down, I can't see the rest of my website because I'm just working on the grid right now. But once it's ready, I go up to the top right-hand corner and click on Save. Although something I did forget to mention is right next to the Save button is the Undo Redo button. Very nice if you wanted to go back and forward here. It's always nice to have those things. So you can see right here on the top right-hand corner, you do have those buttons available there. So very great. I have a nice little collection. And I can click and add a little caption here for these photos. So these are just a few examples of amazing kangaroos we could own. There we go. Maybe this kid wants a huge zoo of them. Next is Glide Show. On this one, you just pick a picture or two, very similar to the photo grid. But on this one, you can add bits of text and things to go with them, a bit of media here. So I have 2 pictures that they can scroll through. So right now I'm in the Glide Show view. I can only see the Glide Show photos that I've selected here. But when I click Save, this is when I could start adding a little bit more here. So I can click this little translucent box here with the plus sign here, and I can add other piece of media like photos, text, buttons, video in there that will show up whenever anyone scrolls through that. So real easy to kind of just slap it together here. And I can add multiple pieces of things. Like if I wanted to add an extra button or a video in there, I can do that as well. So it's really easy to just kind of click and go and get all that stuff to work for you. Now, you can adjust the positioning a little bit. It's not huge, but like, if you want to push this to the left or right, maybe it makes a little bit more sense to be there. You can if you'd like on that. So there's a little bit of customization. And then finally, the last option is split layout. Cut this baby in half, and I can add an image on the left side or add some text on the other side. So I got a little text. Thank you for thinking about getting me a kangaroo. I will do all my chores and take care of it. Great. Let's add a little image of a thumbs up smiley face, maybe? I don't know. Okay, let's go with the smiley face. Let's see how happy. Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna go with this first one, I guess. Yeah, sure, with the tennis shoes. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Bam. Okay, there we go. That's how happy kangaroos make this kit. All right, and now I'm going to go to the top and click Preview, see how things turned out. Ah, there we go. Very nice. Looks pretty good to me, if you ask me, and kind of professional. You can see how everything kind of lines up here to make sure the size and everything looks good and matches with everything else that we've put in there. That is great. And once you're done with your website, you can go to the very top in the middle and click on Share, and then click Publish and Share Link. From here, you'll give your website page a title. I'm going to say Kangaroos for the title. And then I'm going to uncheck Get Notice because I probably don't want this project to go to the Adobe Spark website. All it could, but I'm going to uncheck that and click Create Link. And it doesn't take all that long. Now I have a unique link that goes to this page. If I copy and paste it somewhere else, it takes me to the view that's the same as the preview. Looks really great. And I can share it out to other social media like Facebook, Twitter, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. I could put in email, or what's really nice, you could use this embed code too for the website. So this looks really great for it. Makes it really easy to share. All right. I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for listening to me talk about Adobe Spark Page. I could go all day on this, but I won't. But if you do want to keep the conversation going, you can always reach out to us, shoot us an email. We'd love to hear from you. But for right now, I just want to wrap some things up. I got about 5 more minutes-ish here. So I would love to give you some ideas on Adobe Spark Page applications. I want you to think about, now that we have sort of a foundation on what kind of features it has, I want you to think about what would this look like if you use this for your classroom here. So I'm going to give you a few suggestions just to get the creative juices flowing, and I'm going to frame them using the SAMR model here. So like, for example, if you wanted to do a substitution style activity, you could say students can use images and captions to present kind of a report or a case study. They could do this for like a history class. Maybe they're in charge of a specific era and they have to like do some research over important people. So they find some photos, they put together some captions, slap them together, and then boom, they have a nice little report that they can present. So I think that's a good activity for that. Next one is like an augmentation style activity. Something like this would be students building a journal. They go on a class trip, they take their own photo, so completely for content that they create and gather themselves, and they're giving kind of their perspective on what did they learn in this class trip. And they can even take videos in there and just combine videos and images and just give little bits of reflection on, this is where I was, this is what I saw, this is what I learned, and just kind of creating that story here as an augmentation style activity. Next would be a modification style activity. So something like this would be a group of students get together, they take a bunch of pictures of a class project they did. So class projects are absolutely amazing because you're able to put together kind of a product. You'll have something at the very end, but something that gets left out sometimes is the progression of how did they start from just an idea and then build it into something very complex. And so I think a photo showcase of that can give students an opportunity to see how did they progress, how long did it take, give them an opportunity to stop and reflect on things that they, like maybe some roadblocks, some challenges they went into, and what did they do to overcome that. So being able to put something together like that, I think, is a great modification activity. And then finally, a redefinition. Students assemble their best work from high school, share it with their peers and mentors, make improvements, and use it as a portfolio for college admissions. I think being able to put together a really nice professional looking portfolio is a powerful tool, because once again, this gives students an opportunity to go back, reflect on their work. They can share it with others and just build it up. And then they have kind of like a nice little package that they can use beyond school, and it's something that they can look back on and say, okay, I did that. I did all of these things, and I did it to the best of my ability, and shows what I've learned in this time. So I think that's a great use for that. All right, running into time here, but we're getting pretty close to the end. So lastly, I got these last few pages here. This one's devoted to Adobe Spark links that I think will extend your learning here. The very first one I put on here is about Adobe Spark classroom accounts, getting all that set up. It's a nice little PDF with some lovely pictures and some step-by-step instructions. It's created by Adobe, and I think it is great. Check it out. So please take a look at those. Next I have goodies devoted to the SAMR model. I think this model is great for no matter what piece of technology that you're introducing. So if you've just been hanging in and being polite, but Adobe Spark Page is probably not for you, that's fine. If you picked up the stuff over the SAMR model, that would be great, because I think it applies to other things as well. But thank you for being polite. I appreciate it. And then my final page. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, listening to me. I have this evaluation. Please, 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 just take the opportunity. It won't only take you a minute or so to do. This is case sensitive, very much like the slide link. So this is lowercase t period ly slash lowercase ggz as in zebra, uppercase k. If you do that, we would greatly appreciate it, and it would help us with our future Tech Talks. Just in case you forgot, I'm Kushan Hopkins. I'm joined by Kurt Bernhardt. Kurt, do you have anything?
Nothing to add. Great presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And if you want to hear more and you want to talk to us, techteam@opsrc.net. Please reach out to us. We would love to hear from our members. I got the link to the slides down here. And of course, my very last 60 seconds here. Check out opsrc.net/techtalks. I got more of these in line. We have our future ones coming up. Go ahead and register for those. You might as well do it right now. So if you want a little bit more power in your website creation, I got something for you. Just look out. We have the previous presentations down here, videos and slides, and we have this lovely little Google form here. If you don't see a tool on here that you absolutely love, that you want us to know about, shoot us out that Google form submission there. We would love to know, so we can share the love with everyone else. Okay. With that, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.